Welcome back to BSpice. In this session, we'll discuss about anti-surge control system. What is surge, why it happens, how we are going to control, what are all the methodologies, everything we will see in detail. Okay, so compressor anti-surge control system. Surge is potentially a dangerous phenomenon that can occur in centrifugal and axial compressors, which we all knew, right? Compressor surge can cause mechanical damage to the internals of the compressor, right? Okay. Surging can also cause the compressor to overheat to the point where the maximum allowable temperature of the unit is exceeded, causing the damage to the seals. These are the, what do you call, impacts of the surge. Okay. Surging can also damage the thrust bearing due to the rotor shifting back and forth from the active to the inactive side to the high forces induced by flow reversal. Okay. So these are the, impacts. For example, for axial compressor, the damage may be measurable after only a few surge cycle. We cannot know this immediately. So compressor surge can occur in a fraction of second, just like that, so fast. Okay, acting anti-surge control system. Because it's happening in a fraction of second, so we need to have a fast acting anti-surge control system in place to avoid surge and expensive compressor damage. You got it, friends? So this is about a more of a intro, which we all know, right? Now will talk about the basics. What is surge? Surge can be described as a situation where the flow through the centrifugal compressor is reversed intermittently, or in other words, is flowing from the discharge nozzle to the suction nozzle. I think this is a typo error. Flowing from this discharge nozzle to the suction nozzle. So what is the surge cycle? Surge is a reversal of flow. So due to this reversal of flow, the system pressure, okay, at the discharge site will be reduced over time. And eventually, the compressor will again be able to overcome the pressure on the discharge side. Okay. So if no correction is taken, then the discharge pressure will increase and compressor will again surge. And this, is known as the surge cycle. So this is about the surge cycle. Okay. Now, what causes compressor surge? The causes of compressor surge are generally a function of interaction between the compressor and the piping system, right? So there are three main causes of surge. One is the suction throttling. Okay. So what is the suction throttling? If inlet flow is reduced, inlet flow, such that the head developed by the compressor is insufficient to overcome the pressure at the discharge of the compressor. So this is because of the suction throttling. Then discharge throttling. If the discharge side system resistance increases due to the discharge throttling, then the pressure developed by the compressor will increase and the flow rate will start to decrease. To such an extent, it will reverse. This is about discharge throttling. Then change in the compressor speed. Change in the compressor speed, an increase in operating of the speed of the compressor can also cause a compressor surge. So to sum up, there are three main causes of surge: suction throttling, discharge throttling, and change in the compressor speed. That's it. So now we'll see how to avoid the compressor surge. Just look at this picture, friends. This is your inlet volume in terms of percentage. This is the discharge pressure. Okay. So as you can see here, this is your curve actually. See, you have the surge limit here. This is your design point. This is recommended by as per the manufacturer. Okay. So you need to operate this compressor within this region. So for an optimum, performance without, going into the surge impact. So that is what, okay. So now let us go into the detail. Compressor manufacturer produce an operating characteristics map. This is what? An operating characteristic map called as a compressor performance map. For each compressor they produce, they supply. This map shows surge limits line, surge limit line. Okay, so this is your surge limit line. As you can see here, yes. where surge limit defines the flow at which, for a given speed, the operation of compressor becomes unstable. Okay. So beyond this limit, the operation of compressor becomes unstable. So the compressor needs to be operated to the right of the surge. Okay. So this is your surge limit. So right of the surge. Okay. Here only you need to operate this. So a suggested operating line is also produced, which is safe distance from the surge zone. Okay. These are the safe distance. Right. So now how large the surge offset and the margin depends on the speed of the instrument, speed of the actuator, meaning the response of the instrument, response of the actuator, the response of the fast disturbances that should trip the anti-surge open loop backup system. So if you remember, friends, in our same our BSpace channel, we also highlighted about the instrument when we talk about the response, especially for instruments, the response time is very fast actually. And also the valve opening closing also should be very fast, which I will talk in the later slide. Okay. So the operating line is usually in the region of 3 to 10% distant from the surge limit line. So from this slide, it is 10 to 3 to 10%. That's what they say. Operating too close to the surge point. So now this is your design limit and this is your surge limit, right? So operating too close to the surge line increases the changes of encountering the surge, and operating too far, see operating too close and operating too far also from the surge line is inefficient. Therefore, anti-surge control system is used to maintain the compressor as close as possible to the limit line. Okay. So that is the point. Okay. So to sum up, this is your surge limit, friends. So you need to have a operate this. That's, you see, this is your optimum efficiency. This is constant efficiency curves actually. And it will be something around that. But for optimum efficiency, you need to operate here. Okay. Right. Now we go into the detailed anti-surge control system. See, as we know, surge. Okay, maybe before that, I want to give you some brief intro. Okay, this anti-surge, friends, this anti-surge control system are essential for protecting the centrifugal compressor from damaging effects of the surge, which occur when the compressor's flow rate drops below the critical level, causing a rapid increase in the discharge. Okay, pressure and potential flow reversal. Okay, potential flow reversal. Okay, so how it detects the surge condition? The system, the whole system actually continuously, this whole system continuously monitors, like, suction pressure. You can see here, suction pressure and suction temperature, right? And discharge pressure, okay? Discharge temperature. And of course, the flow rate, okay? So all it monitors actually. So this measurement helps to determine the proximity to the surge line, which is the point where surge conditions are likely to occur. So what is the control mechanism? When the system detects that the operating point is approaching the surge line, it activates this anti-surge valve. So this anti-surge valve opens to the recycle here. It opens to the recycle a portion of the discharge flow back to the compressor suction. Okay, thereby reducing the pressure buildup here. Okay, and maintaining the required flow through the compressor. Okay, so when we talk about this anti-surge valve, it is typically controlled by the dedicated anti-surge controller, which uses the combination of PI, proportional integral control, and rapid mechanism to handle both steady state and sudden disturbances. Okay. So that is how, okay, now we go into that. See, surge happens quickly and conventional instruments, control loops and actuated valves usually fail to recognize the onset of surge. That is why I mentioned there. So we need to have a fast, efficient response instruments actually. Also the valves response also should be fast. So therefore, axial and centrifugal compressors are usually fitted with a dedicated control, anti-surge control system. Typical components include that flow meter, all which we have discussed, right? We have already covered. Okay. So Anti-surge control system detects when a compression stage is approaching surge and take action to reverse the movement of the operating point towards the surge line. So this is normally achieved by opening the fast-acting valve, that is the anti-surge valve in the recycle line, thereby reducing the returning the discharge gas to the inlet of the compressor, via cooler. Okay, like this, right? Okay. So the resulting increase in compressor inlet volume flow moves the operating point away from the surge. That's it. The resulting increase in compressor inlet volume, okay, moves the operating point away from the surge. So the specialist components in the anti-surge control system are, of course, anti-surge controller and anti-surge control valve, and additionally these transmitters, which we have talked earlier. Okay. So now we go into the anti-surge controllers, basically. So this is look and feel of one of the Woodward controller. Anti-surge controller modulates the anti-surge valve to prevent the compressor operating point from reaching the surge limit while maintaining the other process variable within safer or acceptable limit. Anti-surge controller is a specialized controller which is very fast acting, faster than DCSM, and contains special surge detection algorithm. The controller will have an inbuilt closed loop and open loop response, and this helps minimize the control margin and gas cycling without unnecessary upsets to the processor. Okay. So the more advanced anti-surge controller will automatically compensate for changes in either the gas molecular weight or temperature or compressibility or pressure or compressor rotor speed. All it will automatically compensate for the changes. So it is not unusual for the anti-surge controller to be rack mounted. So with a graphical user interface HMI on the front side. Okay, this display provides users access the setting and system configuration. Right. Controller will hand off alarms and process reading to the DCL for display and log. Okay. And when we talk about the anti-surge controller, we have a CCC, that is the Compressor Control Corporation, and Woodward, and also Yokogawa. Okay, this is all proven one. So now we talk about anti-surge control valve actually. See, anti-surge control valve is located in the recycle line, okay, that we have seen earlier. So for a multi-section compressor, it is a good practice to install a separate recycle line with an anti-surge valve for each of the compressor section, Anti-surge control valves are designed to be fast opening and relatively slow closing. So for relatively small valve, see, meaning below 6 inch, full stroking time is less than 1 second. That is the beauty. And for larger anti-surge valve, stroke time could be 1 to 1.5 seconds, and very large valve, slightly less than 2 seconds. So maximum it has to close within 2 seconds. A typical design of a 12-inch anti-surge control valve could have opening time of 1 to 2 seconds and closing time of 3 to 6 seconds. Always remember, opening time is very fast and closing time may be little bit okay, more. That's it, friends. So the valve actuator on the anti-surge valve, okay, should be configured to fail open. That is the pointer, meaning on loss of pneumatic signal, the valve should move to the fully open position. To achieve high opening speed, it is common for anti-surge valve to be fitted with a volume booster. We can call it as amplifier. So a volume booster is a pneumatic relay, okay, somewhere here, that receives a small control signal and allows a large regulated flow to the actuator. So the volume booster, that is amplifier, should be mounted to minimize the interconnecting pipe work, as excessive pipe work will introduce delays into the system. So although in practice, there is no real difference between the anti-surge valve and the general valve, only difference is the accessories required by the anti-surge, meaning the volume booster. That's it, friends. So many valve manufacturers are there, like, Mockwell, Paint Control, Samson. All these are specialized anti-surge control, valves, friends. That's all I have for this anti-surge. I hope I have given some, useful notes on that. If you also feel the same, you can show your support either by pressing the thumbs up button, or, becoming a member, or maybe a subscribe. Or if you don't want to do anything also, okay. I'm happy that if we can, get some insights. That's it. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.